Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's Herbal Study Hall. Good to see all of you. And thank you to anybody who's coming back later to watch the replay. Hey Anne, good to see you. So tonight's topic is pretty open-ended. I'm doing the first ever Q&A, and I thought you guys could give you an opportunity to ask me some questions, and I've got questions for all of you too. So I thought this would be a fun, interactive live for this evening. Also, upcoming things from the channel. I'll be having an oregano video coming out soon. I'm working on editing it now and showing you the seven different herbal products that you can make with oregano. So that's coming up next Tuesday. Hey Karen, thanks for coming. Next Tuesday, I'm going to be doing a monograph review of oregano, Artemisia annua, and also mugwort. All of those are anti-parasitic herbs, and I thought it'd be fun to share those. Oregano, it's one that I'm doing for my documents, especially since I've been digging in, making all of the things. And then I grow mugwort, so I'm harvesting that too. So it's kind of a good opportunity for me to be able to dig into those herbs. And since they both happen to be anti-parasitics, and I know a lot of people are worried about parasites right now, I thought it'd be cool to throw another one into the mix, and we'll just review and compare those. Hey, Troy Sutton, good to see you. Thanks for coming. So does anybody want to share what they've been working on in the last week? In your herby life. Hey Heather, thank you for coming. Heather, I loved your Jello video. I just shared that out. If anybody wants to see some great Jello recipes, there's an open collaboration going on right now. I did a hibiscus strawberry. Don't be afraid to use your herbal tea to make Jello with it. It's really fun to do. And Heather contributed an amazing video that looked incredibly good. Growing perilla leaves, if that's spelled right. Ah, okay. Mugwort grows all over my yard everywhere. That's awesome. Well, kind of awesome. I actually have it in a container because it doesn't play nice, is what I read, and that it'll grow. And when it grows in an area, it prevents other things from growing. It releases something in the soil to prevent other herbs and plants from growing. Is that what you're seeing in your yard? Like maybe that wouldn't be such a great thing. If it is, I hope not. Been drying lots of herbs for teas. Awesome. You do have a lot of herbs growing over there. It's nice. I need to take pictures of all of mine. The echinacea harvest that I'm going to have this year is going to be the biggest one I've had yet. And I need to get some video of that. I was thinking about just going around and taking pictures. I think somebody's doing a collaboration for you take pictures and you just share pictures of everything. Is that right, Heather? Is that Luann over at Blackberry Rock? Perilla leaves for allergies? Cool. I've never used perilla leaves before. No, not really, but it's just everywhere. They smell so good. I've got baby hops starting to grow. Oh, awesome. Very cool. So I don't know if you guys have questions for me, but I've got questions for all of you. Before I get started, I need to read my disclaimer also. See if I have it handy. This live is for educational purposes only. I'm not a medical professional, and nothing shared is meant to diagnose, treat, or replace medical advice from a qualified healthcare professional. Herbalism can be supportive, but all of our bodies are unique. So you need to make sure that you're careful. You do your own research. You talk with your doctor or other licensed healthcare professional before trying new herbs, especially if you're pregnant, nursing, taking medications, managing any chronic conditions, or anything like that. So this is a space intended for all of us herbalists getting together, new to experienced and everywhere in between, because we are all smarter together. So that way we can kind of learn together as we go. So there's my disclaimer, and now we can get into the fun stuff. So, one of my questions is, what herb are you working with this week? And I heard from some folks, Karen, sounds like Karen, are you doing anything with the mugwort? Have you been using that? Have you heard of moxa? Moxa. It's a way to use mugwort. I'm not sure if you've heard of that, but I've actually used it. Moxa. It typically comes in, they almost look like charcoal cigars, and you light them, and then you light them and then you blow them out. So they're just smoking, and you hold them over painful joints. I had my husband use it on my back years ago when I had really bad back pain, and it's relieving to pain. It's healing. Yeah, look up moxa. The other thing that comes to mind with mugwort is it's supposed to help you sleep, but it's also supposed to be like really, it's supposed to stimulate. The only way I can say this is stimulate brain activity while you sleep. That's the way I think of it. There's other people that think of it differently, because there's some people that look at mugwort as having, some kind of spiritual aspect to it, like, dream, being active in your dream and present in your dreams and stuff. But I'm a Christian herbalist. I really focus on, like, the marriage between Western medicine, Western herbalism, and Eastern use of herbal herbs. But I know there's that out there, right? And then somewhere in between is, like, the path. But my understanding is it helps you sleep, but it can cause very powerful dreams, you might say, dreams that might wake you or something. So, I don't know. I haven't tried it yet, but they say that you can even put it in a pillow, put it in like a little pillowcase or a little bitty one, and stick it under your own pillow, and then the scent of it or something encourages sleep, but it also encourages dreaming. So might want to look into that one. And it is supposed to be a bitter that's great for your digestive system. And it's supposed to be anti-parasitic. These are all the things I know, kind of shooting from the hip, but I haven't done a deep dive either into it, but I'm going to do it for next week, Karen. I'm doing a monograph on it, so I'll bring back more information. And maybe you could look into some stuff too. And then next week, if you can join the live, we can compare notes on what we found out. Hey, Twin Brook Acres, good to see you. Tamara Amling, good to see you. My beautiful basil. Oh no, too hot and dry. I thought it was getting enough water, I guess. Yeah, sometimes, I killed my yarrow. So not all my yarrow, because I have a lot of yarrow growing. But I had planted some yarrow in with my roses. By the way, roses and yarrow make beautiful partners in, your pots. They grow very well together, and, they tolerate drought. And I guess when I'm watering my tomatoes and everything, I was forgetting about the yarrow and the roses, and I look over and all of a sudden they were just gone. I mean, and there was like a huge bush there. So I feel you. I just did that too. Hey, Jennifer, good to see you. Thanks for coming. Garlic. Okay. Oh, so you're working with garlic. Is that what you're saying? Harvesting it, or Ann Philbeck. I made horse chestnut bark root oil and tincture for veins on my legs. It's help. That's awesome. I have heard of that, but I have not tried it, and I haven't known anybody that's tried it. So can you tell me, which oil did you choose to infuse it in? I'm curious which one you chose. Or did you do like a blend of oils? I'm taking notes, guys. I may be asking you about whatever it is you tell me next week. Just warning you. Jojoba. Awesome. Are you adding any essential oils to that? Hey, Penny, good to see you. Thanks for coming. No worries. Ooh, table gardens. Very cool. Oh, anti-parasitic. So what I was saying, Jennifer, was that mugwort has some anti-parasitic qualities to it. But oregano does as well. I'm sure you already know this. And then you've also got your Artemisia annua that has anti-parasitic qualities. And for some reason, I'm remembering the Latin name, but I can't remember offhand the regular name for Artemisia annua. But I'm sure you got. But next week, my plan is to present a monograph on each of those. Because I know that it's like parasites gone wild in the United States. I don't know what the deal is. But there's a lot of theories out there, but I'm not here to talk about theories. I'm here to talk about herbs. And I thought those would be interesting herbs to look at next week, because I also am editing an oregano video. I've made 7 different products with it. I honestly could have kept going, but I kind of am like, gosh, I got to stop myself or I'm never going to get this video posted. But I'm going to do a monograph on the oregano. It's something that I really want to do. If you guys, as you know, and I did a video on how to make a monograph, I'm encouraging everybody, make your own monographs. I know that we can get information from books and stuff, but if you make your own monograph, you can pull from different books the information that you're most interested in, that you find most valuable, and just the reading and the documenting of it, helps you to remember it and retain that information. And then you can save them, and you've got like your own book of all of the herbs that you've gotten friendly with. So that's my plan. So does anybody want to share what herbs they're growing right now or harvesting? I mentioned my oregano and I love it. I've got oregano growing in 2 different places, and one's in like the full-blown sun, and it's like all going to seed. I mean, I could hardly harvest anything. Even the flowers are starting to look dry. Other location, it gets more shade. So I'm able to harvest some fresh oregano out there, and I'm also able to harvest like fresh flowers. It's kind of nice to have best of both worlds, because the one in the sun starts first. And then I have a really big echinacea plot that I'll be harvesting next. So that'll be fun. Yarrow, mugwort. My holy basil is getting nice and tall, so that's awesome. My elecampane is ginormous, but it hasn't shot up the shoot that it does in the middle. Chamomile's giving me some flowers this year, but it's the first year for my chamomile, so it's not, real big or anything. I have some, of course, my horseradish, but I'm going to wait till fall to harvest the root for that. I got stevia growing. I'm excited about that. I know I'm forgetting things. I have to start a garden from scratch. Tilling up grass. I do have peppermint, spearmint, oh yeah, of course, my lemon balm. Got a ginormous patch. Oregano, rosemary, mimosa mint. I do have basil planted, but hasn't sprouted yet. Awesome. I've got lemon basil that I just plant throughout my tomatoes, and it just grows like everywhere. I love it. Spearmint over at Heather, Milk and Honey Heritage Farms, spearmint, lemon balm, rosemary, sage. Oh, I got sage too. It's like sage gone wild. I have to cut it back. Raspberry leaves, blackberry leaves. Ooh, and I know you got raspberries and blackberries to go along with those. That's awesome. Hops in a month or so, and yarrow. Awesome, Heather. Jennifer says burdock and mullein grows wild behind the pool and in the woods. Very awesome. I love mullein. I did a couple videos on that. You can use that thing from root to tip, flowers and all. It's pretty amazing. Hey, Dee's Garden Adventures. Thanks for coming. And yes, I just planted Mrs. Burns' lemon basil between tomatoes and peppers. So one of the things I want to make with the oregano that it's not going to be in my video, or I would like never finish the thing, is I want to do a pesto with oregano, lemon basil, and lemon balm. The 3 of those guys. And thyme. Awesome. Awesome, Heather. Next row, it's mammoth basil I'm planting between tomatoes and peppers. Awesome. Also, here's a great question for all of you. I'm really anxious to hear this. What is one herb you've always wanted to learn more about? One herb you've always wanted to learn more about. This helps me. See, I'm planning over here. Mmm. Tamara said one year she had stevia and chocolate mint, and it was a yummy snack to chew on a leaf of each. Oh my goodness, I'll bet it was. What a great idea. Note to self, plant chocolate mint. I want to do that too. I made sun tea the other day and added lime basil. Yummy. Oh, I'll bet lime basil is good. I love a ginger lime tea. Like, I'll bet you if you threw some ginger in there too, it'd really be amazing. Unless you're an anti ginger person, because I know some people either like ginger or you don't. Karen said she's been picking chamomile every morning. It's growing so well. Basil, lemon thyme, lemon balm, rosemary, chocolate mint, mint, spearmint, pineapple, sage, and sage parsley and dill. Oh yeah, I've got dill out there too, but I didn't even plant it. It came up from last year. It was awesome. You like, oh, you like ginger. We got a typo. I like finger. I knew you meant ginger. I figured it out, but that was funny. I'd like to learn more about the different Tulsi basils. Yeah, that would be fun. What about everybody else? What's the one herb you want to learn more about? I'm going to write that Tulsi basils down. Definite typo, I know. Typos can be fun. Yeah, just to chew on the peppermint. That's awesome. Dill, fennel, and calendula at the edges of the rows. Awesome, Jennifer. So we've got what is one herb that you always wanted to learn more about? Anybody else wanna offer some info on that, or just throw one at me? Maybe it's an herb you didn't always want to learn more about, but it's one you want to know more about now. So I mentioned mugwort earlier, and we're going to cover that next week because I've harvested it and I've dried it, and it's nice because during the summer you don't even have to use your dehydrator. Just sit it out. I mean, at least where we live, and it dries just fine. But I want to learn more about mugwort, so we'll be going through that next week. What else am I harvesting that I want to learn more about? I would like to learn more formulas that I'm going to be able to use elecampane in. Oh, lemongrass. I've got that growing this year, Anne, and I'm going to put lemongrass down. I'm making note of this because I would like that too. And Dee said ashwagandha. We did a monograph on ashwagandha once. I just love that herb. It's such a good herb. All the dit dot jow herbs. Okay. I still need to make the dit dot jow. Okay, hold on. I got to buy all the things to do that. I also have a another TCM remedy video that I'm going to be sharing soon. I have it mostly edited. I just haven't shared it. Ashwagandha. Yes, ashwagandha is awesome. Awesome. Okay. Another question. Hey, BNUS Odyssey. Thank you for coming. All right. Here's another question for you guys. What's your favorite way to use herbs? So I'm asking you, but I'm going to answer these. So I'm not putting just all you guys on the spot. I really love a tea. I love a tea and I love a tincture because sometimes, maybe you don't want to, it's like you don't have time to stop and smell the roses kind of thing. You don't have time to stop and drink the tea. you just want a tincture. So tinctures and teas would probably I mean, they're all medicinal, but if we're getting down to like hardcore, I'm on an herbal regimen because I'm trying to address this imbalance, and this imbalance, right? Then I prefer a tincture, a tea. And I also prefer them as a formula. Ashwagandha though, that's one that I just take by itself. Well, if I put it in my coffee, it doesn't taste that great, so I add cinnamon to make it taste better. But I do prefer a formula because you can pull together different herbs to treat different body systems in one tincture so that you're not taken a tea or tincture for this and a tea or tincture for that. You can kind of do your one-stop shop. And traditional Chinese medicine is great for that. They are the masters of making formulas. So it's my hope is that by studying it, I'll become a master someday too. Cooking and tea. Oh, Karen, I like that you said that. And Dee's Garden said, cut fresh to cook with them. Yep. I like that. And Anne agreed, cook with them. Yep, absolutely. What about the other thing I love is making infused oils with them. Like, do they have topical use? Can I put them on my face? I want to know that too. I have a pain oil recipe that is amazing. I think it's amazing. It's helped me. It's helped a lot of people. And I gave it to my sister-in-law, and bless her heart, she said, she put it on her face. And I said, well, you did? Did it get in your eyes? Did it burn? She said, no. And I said, well, how did it work? Like, that's totally not what I intended it for, but you've got me curious. I put cinnamon, turmeric, and cayenne in my coffee. I change it up sometimes with mace, ginger, and nutmeg. Dee, I was doing that too with the turmeric. And I know, like, I have the capsule maker to make the little pills. And I've also made the little pills with honey, like you can make little balls that way with your herbs when you powder them. And with the turmeric, I'm so afraid that it's going to make my teeth yellow. So I'm just saying, not like my teeth are that great anyways. Don't everybody look at my teeth now that I'm talking about. But I'm worried about that. So I'm thinking I might just have to do my own capsules with turmeric because I'm worried about that. Would you mind saying hello to Kayla, Haley, and tell them what you feel why gardening herbs is important to you while they're watching this with me. They have never gardened before. Hi, Kayla and Haley. Welcome to the live. Thank you all for coming. So the difference between gardening herbs and purchasing herbs. For one thing, you know where they come from and you know how they're grown. You know they're organic because you're the one that grew them. You know they are what they are. Let me give you an example. There is a huge labeling issue. It would be called adulteration of labels, but with oregano at the grocery store. If you think you're going to buy oregano at the grocery store and make any of the things that I'm sharing that I made in my video, what you're probably buying is marjoram. So be cautious of that. There's a huge, I guess that's a really big issue, is oregano at the store is actually marjoram. It's not even oregano. So when you grow it yourself, you know how it's grown. Some herbs, especially if they come from overseas, they could be growing in, and I'm just quoting somebody else. I'm not even thinking of well, yeah, I am thinking of worst case scenario, but they could be growing in like a sewer heap or something. Weeds grow where weeds want to grow, right? Where people harvest them, ideally you want them to be selective of where they're harvesting them from a clean area. They're not getting them right by the road or anything like that. So if you grow them yourself, you get that factor too. And then the other piece of that is, the quality is so much better. Oh my goodness. You can tell the difference in the color of the herbs when you harvest them, dry them yourself, and then you compare them to dried herbs that you purchase. You can tell a difference visually. You can tell a difference in how they smell, and you can tell a difference in how they taste. And that to me is just amazing. And that in turn directly relates to the effectiveness of those herbs. So that's why I really want to learn to grow every herb that I use. And it's kind of hard because there's so many favorites out there, and you try to start from seed. I mean, if you're going to grow them yourself, you want to start them from seed, but it's really hard to start some of them from seed too. So you just got to try. I tried so many different herbs this year, And I'm really happy with all the herbs that I got. And then some of them that didn't make it, I did buy them as starts so that I could start them. But they were started for me. Corn hairs are good for tea. Corn silk is actually what it's called. You're right, Heather. And if you grow your own corn, then you know you've got good organic, possibly even heirloom corn. Yeah. And Kayla and Haley, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer your questions for you. So teas, tinctures, cooking, and all three of those things in particular, those are really your medicinal things the most. In Ayurveda and TCM, if you see an herbalist, they're not just going to tell you, okay, you need to drink this tea in the morning. You need to take this tincture with lunch and, maybe drink a tea at bedtime. They're going to be talking to you about what are you eating? And they're going to be discussing how you might want to make some changes to what you're eating, and then also suggest healing foods for you to eat. All right. Cumin is hard to germinate. Can't get it to grow. Oh my goodness, I struggled with lavender. Oh, lavender is another one I'm growing this year that I'm excited about. And I bought the starts. I have tried to grow Solomon seal from seed, and this year I'm trying something different. This winter, I'm throwing seed out there. I'm going to let it winter itself, and we'll see what happens. That's going to be my method. I bought roots 2 times. I mean, like 10 roots, and planted them. And one of them, a bunch went in the woods, and I don't think they came up. There's stuff coming up, but I don't think it's Solomon seal. So I'm really struggling with that one. And this kind of lines into, what is everybody, if you were to suggest to any new herbalist the first herb they should grow, what are you guys' suggestions? I'd have to say oregano, because it's so dang easy. Where I have oregano growing by my garden bed, it wasn't even growing there. I had it in a pot. It jumped the pot. The pot since then is not even there. It jumped the pot, and it grows on the ground around my garden bed, and my husband knows where it is. And so he doesn't mow it or weed eat it or anything. And I just let it grow. It's really that easy to grow. Ann Philbeck says basil. That's another good one. And I'm just thinking of things like that you can grow and feel successful about. Lemon balm will also come up pretty easy, but the trick is you got to make sure that it gets, you got to make sure it gets, well, it might sound silly, but you got to make sure it gets watered. I wouldn't say like that, depending on where you live, keeping soil moist can be a challenge. Heather said rosemary, thyme, lavender, and sage. Yep. Sage too. The sage came up so well for me. Yep. And it kind of depends on where you live too. St. John's wort came up well for me. And I'm serious, I neglected that thing so much. He lived until I got excited about my tiller and accidentally forgot where he lived and tilled right over the top of him. Now I got to plant a new one. Okay. Let's see. Now, anybody have, Tamara says basil. Yep. Okay. Here's a couple of quizzy kind of questions for you guys. Does everybody here understand the difference between an infusion and a decoction? Drop a 1 in the chat if you know the difference between an infusion and a decoction. Lavender, soak seeds and lightly press to the top of soil. Keep moist and grow light, and use a grow light. Okay. Maybe I'll try that. Cinnamon basil is hard to grow. Huh. Ooh, it sounds good though. Okay, what's the difference between an infusion and a decoction? I'm going to speak to that, but before I do, drop a 1 in the chat if you know what the difference is. Or maybe drop a 2 in the chat if you don't know. Okay, I know infusion. Okay, so when we speak about decoction, Here, I'm going to put it in the chat. Infusion versus decoction. Right there. Yep. Those are the terms I'm talking about. So I use my French doors for growing lavender. Oh, and did you do a video of that? Thank you so much, Tammy. You just explained the reason why herbs and well as growing everything instead of buying their food. Yep. Let me tell you that definitely are interested. Aw. Thank you, Penny. Thank you, Kayla and Haley. So let's talk about infusion versus decoction. And this is good to know because you're going to see this in a lot of the herbal texts that you might, be reading. But an infusion is going to refer to, they both refer to how are you preparing your herbs. Infusion specifically speaks to your leaves, your flowers, all of your lighter herbs. A decoction is what you're going to need to do with roots, with barks, with all of those sturdier herbs that you might use. And with an infusion, you boil your water, and then after your water is boiling, you take it off the heat, you add in your loose leaf tea, your teas, flowers, all of your lighter herbs, you add that in and you let it infuse. Normally, the infusion time is to be between 10 to 20 minutes. It really depends on what the herb is. So if you want to make sure you're getting like the best quality infused tea, specifically if you're taking it for a medicinal purpose, you want to make sure that you know what the infusion time is that's suggested for that. Rule of thumb is the lighter that it is, the shorter the time that you want to infuse it. And then your decoction with your roots and your barks, those things you're actually going to put in the pot and you're going to simmer them, not like rolling boil, none of that. It'll be at a light simmer and you'll be simmering those roots and the barks and everything. And usually your simmer time is going to be about 20 minutes. So that's the difference between infusion and decoction. One way that you could, so let me give you a couple examples of when things might be a little different. Like let's say, okay, for example, you have a chicory root, dandelion root coffee blend. And you've got some red rooibos in there. This is my tea, guy. I'm talking about. This is how I make my coffee. And maybe you've got like powdered chaga and you've got some grated reishi mushroom in there. You taking notes because this is my recipe. I'm happy to share it. So you've got some barks. You've got, that woody mushroom. You've got the roots of that are roasted, the dandelion roasted root, the chicory roasted root. But they're all ground up, so they're all kind of small, right? And I have them in one blend. So when I make that alternative coffee blend, I'm simmering it, a low simmer. That's how I make it. I make a big old batch of it, and then I'll put it in the fridge, and I can drink on it for several days. But I might not have to simmer it, for 30 minutes or anything, because all of the roots and everything that's in there, they're all ground up really fine. So kind of want to mention that. And also another thing that might come into play, like with chamomile. A lot of people, chamomile can be used medicinally. You don't want to use it if you're pregnant, even though it's a tea that a lot of pregnant women, I have a friend who works in clinical research in OBGYN territory. And they have a lot of patients that end up coming in there with, signs of going into early pregnancy or early delivery because they've been drinking chamomile tea. So if tell a friend. that's one of those, we need to get the word out things because everybody thinks chamomile is so benign. And, it can be. It just depends on who you are. Or unless you have an allergy. Like Heather, she can't drink chamomile tea. But if it will tell you, if you want to drink your chamomile tea, you're ideally you're taking it because you're having a gallbladder attack or whatever. When you're drinking that, you want to make sure that you steep it so that it's strong enough to have an impact. You're not drinking, real light cup of chamomile tea. It's actually going to be steeped until it's more bitter, and it'll have more of a bitter flavor to it. You can add some honey in there, maybe a little lemon. Those things would be good for your gallbladder too. But just kind of throwing that out there. So, any questions on that before I go on to the next thing? All right. All right. What does the chat think about, can herbs expire? Anybody have any thoughts on that? Can herbs expire? I have thoughts on it, but I'm going to give you a chance to share your thoughts first. Anne, isn't it the cutest thing ever? And look at the front of it. You know who gave this to me? Gail over at Gail's Southern Living. I want it. I want it on some kind of live thing that was going on, but I love it too. And what you can't see, well, maybe you can, this big old coffee cup. And I love that it's just, I could have soup in here. Yes. Okay. So you guys are giving good answers. Yes, herbs can expire. They lose their potency. So Dee's Garden Adventure said it perfectly. They lose their potency. If you have herbs and you're buying them in, bulk, let's say, and you're not going to be able to use them all, you need to share them with someone. or you need to make a tincture with them, because a tincture is going to last. So forever is a mighty long time, and I shouldn't say forever because that's not accurate, but a tincture can last like a decade if it's closed up well. You follow the alcohol percentage, because an alcohol at a higher enough percentage is going to, how long does vodka on a shelf last, for example? Yep, I make tinctures with them when I can't use them. I think the mug was donated. Oh, was it donated by Lori and Bob? Oh, that's so cool. Yes, I love this cup. Decrease in potency. Yep. So yeah, they can expire. And that's one of the problems and challenges, I think with herbal medicine, is that some people, like, they try herbs and they feel like they're not working for them. And then you have to think of the different factors that could have been involved. Were the herbs expired? Were they of poor quality? Are they the herb that they think that they're taking? If somebody went and bought their own and they're like, I'm going to go on Amazon and I'm going to buy, oregano or something. And it's not oregano, it's marjoram, or like my example from earlier. And then you have to think, are they taking the right herb for them? So there's all of these questions that come up the same. Yep. And medications are the same. They lose potency. Yep. All right. I've got another question for you guys. We ready to go on to the next question? This is an easy one. What is your favorite herb? And I'll go ahead and, gosh, if you all tell me your favorite herb in the chat, and I'm going to have to think for a minute. I have a couple of favorites. One of mine is hawthorn, because it's just such an amazing herb. And I've taken it, I've suggested it to others who have felt like it's really helped them. So that has to be like, and I have a long standing relationship with hawthorn. Another one is mullein, because it's one of the first like herbs that I could harvest, out in the wild or whatever, like mullein. And I just love mullein. And I love all the things that you can do with it. It's just an amazing herb. I mean, it's been there for me when I had coughs. It's there for me when I had back pain. It's been there for me when I had an ear infection. I just love mullein. And then ashwagandha, I think, is another favorite, just because it's just such an amazing herb and such a great adaptogen. Let's see what you guys are saying. So many. It's hard to choose, isn't it? Peppermint. Yes, peppermint's awesome. Rosemary. Ginseng. Oh my gosh, and ginseng is amazing. As a matter of fact, I bought some ginseng and I've got to make a tincture with it. Another rosemary, garlic, tamara. Garlic gets, I almost forgot about it. And you know, that is something I take on the regular. And dill. Yeah, dill's a nice one too. And another rosemary. I like rosemary. It's just I struggle with high blood pressure, and I'm one of those people that rosemary is not it doesn't pair well with me. It can cause my blood pressure to go up, and I work hard to keep it down. Yep, garlic. I don't know. I think of garlic as an herb. I guess it's a vegetable too, but I think of it as an herb. Anybody have a favorite medicinal tea? Kind of talking about the same thing, I guess, but maybe a little bit different. My favorite medicinal tea, cook with garlic so much. I made, rosemary bread sounds so good. Grapefruit lowers blood pressure. I think my favorite medicinal tea, I have a tea blend that I make that includes a lot of things in there, including like horsetail. Yeah, I call it like my vitamin tea. And I drink it with lime, and it's got ginger in it. So it's like a lime and ginger kind of tea. It's really good. I think that's my favorite one. Turmeric and black seed, cumin and ginger. And I bought some black seed oil, and it's on my list to read up more about that black seed oil. Black seed, cumin, and ginger. That sounds good. What do you guys think about, what is one herb that you think everybody should know? I would say it's going to be in the kitchen. Whatever we're talking about, it should be one in the kitchen. And I would lean towards garlic and thyme. Those are the two in the kitchen that I think of first. But what do you guys think? One herb that everybody should know. Black seed castor oil. Huh. And do you have a video on that? I'd like to see that. Nah. Why not live? No, that's funny. Cumin. Huh. Interesting. Tamara, why would you pick cumin? What are the things about cumin that you love? I'm going to write that down. Oh, castor oil. Black seed castor oil. Huh. Yeah, I need to study the black seed oil more. I know that it's supposed to pair well with oregano, and that they sell like oregano oil that contains black seed oil, so they're supposed to be really good friends. Supposed to develop some sort of synergy together. Turmeric. Yep. I could see that. Turmeric. And then here's another question for you guys. If you could only keep 5 herbs, what would your 5 herbs be? I love to use it in bean dishes, lentils, etc. And people do need to know about turmeric. Yeah, turmeric's pretty awesome. If you could only keep 5 herbs, which ones? For me, it would have to be garlic. It would have to be hawthorn. It would have to be oregano. What would my 4th and 5th be? Let me see you guys as 5 herbs. You maybe give me ideas. What do I got in my kitchen? You know, I'm tempted to say American ginseng because that's something I take on the regular. I know it, huh, Anne? Can't just keep 5. That's why we need to have like um I was gonna say go bags for our herbs. They need to be portable. I give my pets turmeric when they're acting like they don't feel well or have a wound. Huh. Would your pets be dogs and cats, or is it one or the other? Garlic. Oh, look at Tamara's got it. Garlic, cumin, basil, rosemary, and turmeric. I like those. I'm thinking garlic because it's great for infections. It's great for any blood heart issues. Oh, and that would be awesome, an herb swap. hmm Hawthorn because of the heart issues mainly. Oregano because when I got sick, I'll swear oregano was the only thing that helped me. It's the only thing that kind of turned the corner and made me start getting better. And then American ginseng, just because I swear, like American ginseng makes everything, it makes everybody feel better. 1, 2, 3, and then I still need a 5th. Rosemary, turmeric, paprika. I almost have to come back because I don't want to pick another one. Dogs and cats. Good to know. I bought 2 books, D, for herbs for pets. I'll have to bring here with me next time I do a live so I can show you what books I got. I'm pretty excited about them. I've been having to give my dog a special diet, and I'm trying to figure out which herbs to incorporate with her. But so far, I figured out she wants her plate like a people plate, and I cook her food. So she'll have like hamburger or maybe ground turkey, maybe some chicken, and then she likes spinach and green beans. But I put it on her plate. I don't mix it up all together. I actually put usually like sometimes I fry an egg for her. So she'll have her meat and then her veggie, and then I give her a little bit of yogurt every night. And my husband said, he said, you should do what my dog eats in a week and share pictures of this with people. But she's quit eating because we actually put her on, took her to the vet. They gave her medication and she wasn't having it. She quit eating because she thought we were trying to like poison her or something when she found these pills in her food. Hey, Tina. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Tarragon. Tarragon is awesome. Um, so, and then I wanted to share like an update on what I've been studying and to kind of gauge a little bit of interest. We've only got about 10 more minutes here. And I want to now, as I mentioned, next week, we're going to be going over monographs I'll be creating for oregano, the Artemisia annua, and also mugwort. They're all antiparasitics, and I thought it'd be great to do a monograph on each one of those because then we can compare them a little bit too. And they're things that I'm harvesting, so I kind of want to know about them. And the other thing in my coursework that I've been doing for school, it's been really cool because I just finished an assignment that was about herbs that treat heat in the body. And it was really interesting from a TCM perspective. There's like 5 different ways that herbs treat heat in the body. And you would think like the first thing you might think of is, maybe a diaphoretic to make you sweat. That's what a diaphoretic is. It's an herb that makes you sweat. You might think that's what it is, or maybe it's just a cooling herb, but no, that's not all of them. There's like other ways that they do that. And the chapter that I'm on now is about herbs that drain dampness, and dampness in traditional Chinese medicine. So you might, when you get congested and you have like phlegm in your lungs or in your sinuses, maybe you're thinking that's what it means by damp. And it could, but it's not limited to that. So you could have conditions of damp when you have like joint pains and things. That could be, in the TCM language, That could be referring to dampness. Oh, yes, the yogurt for not feeling well or wounds. Okay, cool. Yeah, and it's Greek yogurt. I haven't been, she eats it. I didn't need to put, anything in there to make it sweet. She eats it just like it is and she likes it. So we've been going through those things. And I'm curious what you all have been studying. Have you been studying any herbs in particular or digging into any concepts in particular? And then I want to encourage that too. Remember when you're learning your herbs, that one great way to help you is to not just learn the herb, but learn some herbal pairings with it, herbal pairs. So for example, I mentioned oregano is supposed to be, work great in synergy and be a great herbal pair with the black seed oil. So I've been trying to look into that to see why and, how that works. But also oregano makes a great partner and pairs well with tea tree oil because, one thing that's great about oregano is it's antifungal. Hey there, Jan Van Doren. Thank you for coming. Happy to have you here. I'm so happy to have you here. Every time we get somebody new that joins us, it's a wonderful thing because one more mind mixing together with us just makes us all smarter. That's what it is. So feel free to share your ideas, your questions, and all of that good stuff in the chat. Tina, I'm wanting to learn more on lemon balm and we'll be making things. Not sure how yet. Tina, I did a video. Go watch that video. There's all kinds of things you can do with lemon balm. It's so fun. So fun. I made jelly with it. The syrup is wonderful. But again, lemon balm's one you got to be careful with if you're, if anybody, just every herb has its own contraindications. Make sure you start there when you're studying herbs and then look for what does it pair well with. So the oregano being such a great antifungal pairs well with tea tree oil. Hey, Marion Smith. I'm glad you're here because according to my notes, you won the Rosemary Gladstar book and I haven't received an email from you. So you need to email me. I'll put my email in the chat. Hold on. Oops. Unless you emailed I don't know, a couple days ago because I haven't checked my email in a couple days. But what I was mailing everybody else is I didn't see that you emailed me. So make sure you email me. There's my email address. And let me know where you want to send you your book. Or if you want to gift it to somebody else or something, you could do that too. All right. What was I saying? Okay. So when you're learning your herbs, keep in mind while you're doing that to catch on to what herbs pair well with the herbs that you're learning. That way you kind of learn more than one at a time. You know what I mean? And you're learning the different uses. And then try to make something with that herb that you're learning. Try to make one thing. Try to grow it. Because all of these are great experiences. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Thanks for coming. I hope you're having a great day. And then while you're learning your herbs, try to keep track of your herbal concepts. So not just herb for this, herb for that. What herbs work well together? How do they impact one person's constitution versus another person's constitution? Like if somebody's, we talked about one time we did a case study. Okay. Yeah, no problem, Marian. Or Marianne. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry. But keep that in mind. Like we talked about, if you have somebody who's sick, like the different kinds of colds they can have and, which kind of herbs might be more helpful for different people. We talked about adaptogens that might be helpful. Like with every person, if you're trying to get better, some of the first things you want to look at are they sleeping? If they're not sleeping well, what does that mean? Are they going to sleep and then they wake up all night? Are they twitching while they sleep? Is any of that being reported, like restless leg syndrome? Are they, going to sleep and then waking up at 3 a.m. and they can't get back to sleep because their mind's just racing? What does it mean? You want to help them get to sleep. So then you got to figure out, match up the right herb with that particular person. And then what's their digestive system like? They might think they have a perfect digestive system. Maybe they don't think they have any problems at all. And they think everybody gets the hiccups and belches and stuff. But, that's in TCM, that would be a sign of like some food stagnation. If you were to think about it in a Western medicine kind of mind, it might mean that maybe their gut health is a little sluggish, particularly like their liver gallbladder might be a little sluggish. So you can help them with their digestion. Maybe it's as easy as, encouraging them to take bitters before they eat. So their sleep, their digestion, and then are they having regular bowel movements? And some people don't want to talk about that, but I'll ask somebody, are you like at least once a day going to the bathroom? What color is it? Ask the things. If it's yellow, that's a sign of like gallbladder, liver stuff. Not to say that you have a bad disease and everything's, you're in dire strait. You're imbalanced is what we're looking at, imbalances in the system. We can get the body to a balanced place. The body can heal itself. Just picked a lot of elderberries. Interesting, but elderberries can be high temps on drying or boiling, and it still has the same benefits. Awesome. Do you know elderflower? So not the elderberries, but the elderflowers have medicinal properties too. In this world, you do not have a perfect digestion, right? At anything in this world. Isn't that the truth? Yeah. All right, we've only got 3 minutes. My last question for you guys is there anything that you want me to do a deep dive on and talk about in the future? If you could put that in the chat. Now, next week, I've already told you, like, I don't know, several times, because I do that. What am I going to be doing monography-wise? Yes, we ask nursey questions. Yes, for real. Yep. And then you always want to know, what is their chief complaint? Because as an herbalist, some people can have like a lot of, things going on, and you can't fix everything in a day or two. But if you can help them with their chief complaint, if somebody's constipated and you can help them get that regulated, you just made a friend. They're going to be happy with you. And then you can come back and help them deal with the other things that are going to be taking a while. If they're having pains and joint pains, and you can give them something that might help clear up some of that inflammation, but also give them some kind of a topical pain oil or something that's going to help them, there you go. And then you can circle back and try to take care of the things that are going to take a while, like badly loaded with stones. Yep, Jennifer. Yep. Oh, elderberry flowers and olive oil. That's awesome. Any topics you guys want me to talk about in the future? It would be after next Tuesday. But we could. We could even revisit some of the things that we've talked about before and maybe just get into it a little more. But there will be more monographs, more sharing of herbal recipes, and more sharing of herbal concepts. So stay tuned for those. Yep, that's right. We all do. All right. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up, and I hope to see you next week. Do all the herby things and come back and share what you got done next week during our next Herbal Study Hall live. Thanks, everybody. Y'all have a good one. I'll see you next time. Bye.